Checking in. Tuesday night, post Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Got the day off today, actually. Several days off this week, and I was out in the garage changing guitar strings. I changed strings on, 4 guitars, and been a fun day. Mikey Skaggs, old skank, came by and he delivered the super deluxe amp that he built me out of the kindness of his heart. And man, we hung out for a little while, and just been a good day, man. Nice and chill. I was at one of the guitars I refretted was this old 69 Les Paul Custom, and I'm sorry, restrung, not refretted. And man, I use this guitar a lot, and I was just struck by today just by how amazing this guitar is. It's like I have owned a pile of Les Paul Customs in my life, man. I mean, so many. I mean, I've had tons of late 60s ones, early 70s ones, 50s ones. Lots of Les Paul Customs. This is definitely the best Les Paul Custom I've ever had. It's a 69. It's all there. Got the waffle rain gutter tuners, they call them, original pickups, and witch hat knobs, and pimped out triple ply binding on the tuxedo black lacquer finish, ebony board with the big blocks, split diamond headstock inlay. Come on, man. I mean, these things are like the equivalent of wearing a tux when you put one of these guitars on, which is something I rarely do. I wanted to say thank you to everyone for going to the Guitar House Reverb site and checking out the Larry merch. Thank you. Drew said that we sold a ton of CDs and t-shirts, and I wanted to thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. Really cool. Thank you for the support of the channel. Hope you like the shirts. I know they're going to be comfy. Speaking of comfy, look at this rad shirt that I just got. Drew sent this it's for Guthrie's live gig that he does in Nashville. And man, this is a cool shirt. Also available on Drew's website if you're into it. And let's see. I got a couple things in the VCB I can get to. One guy said, Larry, what's your favorite Rush album? Kind of out of nowhere. My favorite Rush album is definitely Moving Pictures. I really love. I'm not the biggest Rush fan in the world. I really respect them and think they're amazing. You know, really respect how they got along over all the years and were able to keep the band together against all odds. Great documentary on them, by the way. But Moving Pictures is a fantastic album. If any of you guys out there have never heard that record, you need to get that record. I mean, a lot of people complain about Geddy's voice being a bit overbearing. You know, at times, people that don't like Rush will always say, I can't listen to that guy's voice. But he sort of chilled it out on that album. And I think it's the best songs they ever wrote, personally, in my humble opinion. You know, Red Barchetta, Limelight, fantastic. YYZ, or YYZ, as they say in the European countries and the Canadas. Another guy said, tens? Probably talking about string gauge. Yes, I use tens. Diodario New York XL tens. That's what I always use. Great strings. I don't see any reason to do anything else. It works for me. I'm able to keep the light bill paid. And I like 12s on an acoustic, 10s on an electric. Another guy said, Larry, what's the lightest guitar you've ever owned? And the heaviest? I like that question because I'll tell you what, one thing I really notice when it comes to old guitars is the weight. The weight is a big deal to me. I will pay way extra over Blue Book for an old guitar that's incredibly lightweight. I think, to me, that's one of the biggest selling points a guitar can have. Lightest guitar I ever had, man, I've had some cool light guitars, man. I remember having a 55 Les Paul Gold Top years ago that weighed 7.8 pounds, which is pretty light for that guitar. I've had a bunch of 6-pound tellies, which is like a feather, you know. The lightest guitar I ever had was a 1974 or 5 Flying V that I owned years ago. It was not even 5 pounds. That guitar is out there somewhere. It was a natural finish, white pickguard, and it had a big gash right on the upper, you know, where the V bit would go. A big gash. Somebody out there has that guitar. If you got it, I don't want it back or anything because I'm not a Flying V guy, but that was a cool guitar. And it's the only V I've ever owned. It had wood shot knobs, I remember. A very KK Downing looking Flying V. I'm not a big Flying V or Explorer guy. I would certainly love to own one of the originals, you know, just for its incredible, you know, rarity and historic significance, but that's not really my style, you know. I don't even own a single pair of leather pants. And that really kind of fucks you up when you're thinking about getting a V, you know. If you don't got any leather pants, you don't have any reason to be owning the Flying V. Is there anything else here? Let's see. I'm gonna stop that real quick. I'll call him back. Phone call come in. Tom, you're more thoughtful inhumane, dealing with the negative folks than most could ever imagine being. Wonderful example, Tommy. I appreciate you saying that. But you know, I have a little Cleveland in me. I can't help but fight back a little bit when somebody says something truly asinine. I have to, I have to give them a little kickback. I can't stop it. It's the Cleveland in me, man. I think a lot of you guys probably out there have that same gene. You know, it's like you can't take a punch without punching back. You know what I mean? But most of the time, all these comments, 99% of them are sweet. You guys are sweethearts, and I really appreciate watching the channel, and I hope you're learning something from all this mess. What if you found out that it was all just a giant waste of time? But it's up to almost 20 million views, man. This channel. Can you believe that? 20 million views from some no-name session guy. Total anonymous guy. I looked on All Music the other day, and you could see how many album credits you have. And me and my session buddies always joke around like it's a friendly competition about who's played on more records. You know, like Tony Lucido and I are always jabbing each other, going, "How many are you up to?" And I looked the other day, I'm up to 1,200 records I've played on. I think he's at like 1,100, and we just laugh about it. It's like a little, chide going on between us. But man, some of these guys, there's people that have played on over 2,000 records, man. Some of these older session guys. I'll probably never make it that far. I would just like to play on, I don't even care about the number. I just want to play on good records from this point, just stuff that matters. Hopefully you guys will like this record that Guthrie and I are making. It's almost done. We finally came up with a title for it today. I'm very excited about it. I just had this thought hit me. We've been struggling to try to find a title for the album, and all of a sudden it just hit me, and I texted it to him, and he was like, "Dude, that's it. Love it." It's called "Lick My Love Pump." No, just kidding. I can't tell you quite yet, but it's simple. It's very simple and classic. And I only can't tell you because we might change it. So let's see, one or two more questions here. I'm going to take a swing at this one here. Let's see. I'm an engineer, never going to be a great guitarist. I enjoy the process of the hobby. Never wanted to make my hobby a job. Relearning to play after a couple strokes made it all the more precious. Sorry to hear that, man. Every once in a while, someone will mention some great guitarist who overcame some malady to be even better, and that I have no excuse. Well, I wasn't good to start, lost the use of my left arm for a decade, feel blessed to be here, will die a guitar hack. I'm okay with that. A guy named Rick sent that. Man, dude, I'm sorry to hear you went through that, and don't be so down on yourself, man. Jesus, God. Really all that matters is that you enjoy playing the instrument. I mean, this is not a competition. No one's out to get you. I mean, I feel like, we're living in this age of imposter syndrome. Every kid in every school comparing themselves to people on the internet, thinking that nobody's good at, they're not good at anything because they see all these people doing things amazingly, I don't know, man. I feel like you got it really, when it comes to guitar, it's just you and this thing. My deal has always just been me and the guitar. I don't give a fuck what happens around me, how to turn it into a business, how to make money, who cares what I'm doing, or it's just me and the instrument. I have a deal with this thing, and it's always been there. And I have had it since the beginning. And my relationship with the guitar and what's going on with my hands and my mind is so much more important to me than any of the other shit that's going on, competitions or arguing, bickering over who killed who. It's like, it doesn't matter, none of it. just get yourself in the mindset where you can make a deal with your guitar and try to get as good as you can and play for enjoyment, you know. And I think that you start doing that, playing stuff you like, you're off to a good start, you know. If you walk around comparing yourself to people all day long, you're just gonna get debilitated, and that ain't good. Let's see if we got one more here. I learned how to use a whammy bar by learning Lenny and Riviera Paradise by SRV note for note. Setup was key to getting it fit naturally in my hand. I'm talking about the setup on the whammy bar. I bend it well because it comes pretty high up stock. Slide is a nightmare for me, but I'm working on it. Yeah, I remember those tunes. Lenny and Riviera Paradise, yeah. Yeah, he was good at using that whammy bar, wasn't he, old Stevie Ray? I'm not really sure what the question is there, but I feel where you're coming from. One last one. Danny, are you a Danny Gatton fan? Of course I am. Jesus. Danny Gatton, crazy guitar player, man. I mean, one of those guys that could, you know, really get into a lot of different sort of styles, you know. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that Danny was working on is like those areas of guitar that are really dying. Like, he was working on stuff that it's sort of like dying. Dying like the techniques that people don't do anymore. Like he was one of the last of that style. Like, and he was great at that shit, man. Ancient forms of guitar technique that he could do. And I heard he played really fucking loud, man. I've never seen him in a club or anything, but people always said that his guitar was so loud and bright that it would just cut your face off. And I probably wouldn't have dug that, to be honest. I don't like to be sterilized by guitar sounds. I wonder who the loudest guitar players of all time is. I've heard Stevie Ray was deafening. I'm trying to think of who the loud. I've heard that Angus Young's, like, if you're not used to it, my friend Trace Foster, who is a tech for Angus Young, he'd been teching for him for years. He said that just standing there playing chords on his rig will, like, literally make you nauseous. I couldn't handle that. My ears are half gone anyway after all these years of playing through Marshalls and stuff. I like a nice, comfortable volume, but it's got to have some ass on it, you know. I don't like wimpy jazz tone and like playing like real soft, but I like powerful, manly tone, but not too loud. You know what I'm saying? And you got to play in a band, you know, the band context, and you got to blend with the band, you know. My buddy John Oates, who I've done a lot of sessions with, said that Daryl Hall is the loudest. You can't even imagine how loud he is on stage. He's great, and he's amazing, but he said it's so loud that you can't even get near him, you know. And they have to put plexiglass all around him and stuff. It's like, I don't understand how people play that loud. Like, I need to be in the mix. Like, if all I can hear is myself, I play terribly. Like, I can't get anything going. I'm like that when I'm recording as well. Like, I always tell the engineers when I'm recording, if I'm doing overdubs, if I'm in the control room, I'll say, put me where you would put me in the mix when I'm doing whatever part I'm doing. Don't turn it up too loud. I don't want to just hear this. You know, put me where you would put this part in the mix, and I'll play it right. You know, I guess some guys like to have their guitars like real loud when they're recording and stuff. I'm not that way at all. I mean, I like the shit to be loud, all of it, like, you know, whatever's coming through the speakers, the whole track. I like that to be loud, but I don't want to be any louder than the rest of the track when I'm doing my parts. You know what I mean? So that's what I always tell the engineers. I want to say thanks to Peter Hall. Peter Hall is a guy that watches the show, and he always he regularly throws something very nice in the tip jar, man. And we've had a few emails back and forth, and he seems like a very intelligent, lovely dude. And so Peter, just wanted to say thanks to you, man, for helping the show, helping the cause, man. All right, cats. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Uncle Larry over and out. Oh, wait, I was going to tell you one thing. That McCartney song I was playing at the beginning, Ram On. 2 chords, really. It's C major 7. It's a C6. Back and forth. And then down to B. And then E over B. Back to C. One of my favorite tunes of all time. We've been playing it in the car over and over with the kids, and they love it too. Man, that track is unbelievable. And early McCartney solo stuff, fantastic. All right, guys, peace out. Talk to you later.